All right, here we go. This is the second half of the pool, starting off with block 13, back with the Aussies in freefall. So, all right, start off with the shape of the build. You can see here the long axis. We'll be talking about that when we meet up on Monday. I'm sure you guys are all fully aware of it. But tail and point, it's building right in between tail and point. And we want to begin with the same angle from you guys. So point and tail about 45 degrees. It's a little over cheated here, but this is fine. And ideally this grip gets picked up first, so that like we talked about on the 12, as the centers come together, they know that it's clear on the outside, the grips get picked up, and then they can make the move. Tail has a high grip, point has a wrist grip. It doesn't matter. Do what works best for you. Some people like a double grip. Not super keen on that. It does restrict the piece a little bit. I would suggest that you start with a single grip, but choose either one that works for you. Okay, here's the center point. The point and tail, watch them. They're being patient. There's not a lot you can do as point and tail. You can get ready, you can anticipate, but you need the centers to open up and show you that B picture there, that kind of stair step. And in fact, when you girls do this together for the first time, be even more patient than you see tail doing right now. Point's doing a slightly better job of being patient, but let the insides, so the insides are going to open up to a B. You're going to see that first B picture there with the guys like in a donut, you two facing at each other. And the way to get there, you can do it 2D or 3D. If you're going to do it 3D, tail is going to go down just 10 centimeters, no more, and outside center can come up a little more, so maybe about 25 to 50 centimeters, and you can step a little forward to 45 degrees, a little forward to 45 degrees around the center point there you go, and just cross over under each other. See, it's a rotation from now. It's harder. You see how much harder it is for the tail because they're trying to drop down and rotate. So I would suggest that you get the outside center to do most of the work with the vertical, because it's a little harder, a bit like the tail has at the beginning of the 11. It's a little harder for them to make that move from this position here. So let the outside center maybe do a bit more of the vert, and then you guys can rotate. Really nice job here for this angle. Out inside center struggled a little bit to get to that B. There's the first B picture. Now, point and tail, you guys can cross through the center. There we go. There's a perfect halfway picture there. And then point and tail, you want to go through. So let's say you start here, you want to go through to this angle, through to this angle. You go through, cross in the center, and then come out and then look at each other. And point and tail, you want to look at each other and hold that angle, because ideally there's another B picture here. Just after point and tail cross, there we go, there's another B right there. You could even be a little more patient, see the B picture, and then that means that the two centers will meet up right in the center of the screen, and off we go. Sometimes you see point and tail playing around with being at different angles at the end depending upon the subsequent move. It's not worth it. Work on being symmetrical. It'll give you much more consistent finishes. Okay, block 14. We'll keep this nice and uncomplicated. We've got a really nice build here. The cheat from outside and inside center is very good. So the picture we're looking for here is this knee and this knee, just a little bit off center. We want to keep the point and tail in good body positions. Yep, so not too tight, not too far. The key is coming obviously from the point and tail. They're just being a little patient. Watch how point and tail are being a little patient, allowing the centers to get to that side body target. And so now we've got As point, I've waited for inside center to get to this target. As tail, I've waited for outside center to get to this target. And then we can cog. Now it's block 7. We can spin in place. And then that way, the timing is correct for the 2 centers to be around a little sooner as well. So we've got less chance of a collision by waiting for that target. And also the centers around a little sooner so that they can be picking up the grips in stages. A little overcheat there from point. All right, there's a no contact one. Cool. We'll see the same thing though. Let's look at the shape at the beginning. Really good shape again. Look at where the knees are. We've got this knee in the middle and this knee in the middle here. Point and tail looking at each other, being a little patient. Oh, look at that. There's me there as tail. I'm a little ahead. I should have waited a fraction longer. The other pair did a much better job of that. And by me going a little soon, in fact, let me use that mistake of mine there to highlight something. See how I've gone a little soon? And so that puts outside center in a dangerous position because I've got my knee getting very close. Now I can see why Steve was pissed off at me on that one. There we go. And then the finish shape to there. Cool. Okay, block 15. So I think we know the key here is the build. Any coach you've ever had has talked to you about the shape at the start of this block. This is a really good example. We have the walls of the house here and then the roof. With the angle is not too acute between inside center and point. And inside center and point really want to build together. Point here was very early on the grips. That's fine for us, but I would say as point you want to be focusing on completing here, and hopefully outside center will be doing a good job of giving you the grips. Now, inside center keys it. Inside center keys, and if you want, you can kind of be a little bit lazy letting go of this grip here between inside center and point, because the point wants to be coming kind of behind to get this. You see that reverse side body target? This is this picture here. So point doesn't want to go sooner, and we want to create a side body target here. And that way, see how, in fact, point is a little ahead now. Point's overdoing it slightly. See that they should also have another side body target here. Gets a little bit tight in the center, but really good communication now between point and inside center. As inside center, don't worry about these grips. They're coming to you. Just keep turning around your center point. Let the grips come to you. And I really like the timing here from outside center. Look at Steve. He kind of checks in here. He's looking to see that the center are getting together and doesn't even deliver the grips. So he is a little bit behind, doesn't even deliver the grips until he sees that the center is closing. And the tail, your job here is to spin, ideally in place, getting a little bit of a cog there with the inside center. You don't need to be round before, but as soon as you're round, stop and get on those grips. Light on those grips, because inside center wants to feel that you're there as they pick up the point, looking here inside center, looking to these 2 grips and then bouncing off the grips. There we go. Cool. All right, block 16. Nice. Let's go back to the top of this. Oops, sorry, my video editing skills. I missed the build of that 16, didn't I? Let's see if there's another one in there. Okay, I'll use the first one, the real. Sorry about that. A little bit of video editing issue with me here. I've already got to the first target by the time the video starts playing. So let me go through to the no contact. Note to self, double check the videos, well, triple check them. Here we go, on the build of the 16. We want point and tail to be completely parallel, having their knees here, not too far forward, because outside center and inside center want to easily to be able to pick up this grip and this grip. Here is the center point of the piece. We want to take the inside center wants the knee to come down this line. Outside center wants their shoulder to come down this line. You guys are opening up the doors, and then we get to that box picture here. It's a little bit off time, but not bad. We've got the front a little too far ahead. Although if there's going to be a mistake, better for the front pair to be a little too far ahead. There's just a little bit of a collision happening here. All right, as tail, you want to be just thinking a little sideways at this point. You're not trying to go around. The same with the point. You're not trying to go around. You're thinking about coming through here as the outside center and inside center open the door for you. At this point now, we see this target. We should see the target of a box. In fact, I can show you, there it is. On the one with grips, it was a little easier to achieve. There's that box target there. All right, let's go back to the no contact. So slide through. And at this point here, the inside center and the outside center, don't worry about the catch. Let your piece partner do their move and just try and stay still, very still. And then at this point, at the next compressed target, before, so the 90 degrees left to go, you can see how John is doing a sideways move here. The same with Katie, she's doing a sideways move here to finish the block. Because we don't want you guys going around the piece, and that otherwise that creates that awful tension that you sometimes feel on the back pair on that block. Okay, block 17. Okay, let's look at that one. So the build of block 17, it's all about the build. Long axis, let's just go through to, it's coming from an H. There's the long axis between point and tail. We want to build a strong two-way right between the point and the tail. And you can see here how John really likes to pick up the inside grip first. Most often, 90% of the time, the tail's grip comes last. A lot of people really like to pick up this leg grip first in the inside center position. The only problem with that is that you end up reaching for it, because if I go back, look how long. See, my leg has to go from here to here, and it takes quite a long time for it to travel. Whereas if the centers can be working on a strong two-way to there. Now this is a really nice shape. It's a little bit open, not too tight. Inside the centers have 90-degree arms. Also heads are forward. You see how the point and tail's heads are nicely forward. If the tail's head is back here, if the point's head is back here, it gets very crowded for the inside center and very reachy for the outside center. At this point, it's the inside center's key. Inside center is traveling a little bit forwards and kind of rotating around their head. See that? Rotating, and John has got this really nice target here. He's trying to build a cat with the outside center. So outside center is going at 45 degrees in this direction. Point is just allowing outside center through and then coming around to the catch. Tail is being a little patient, just making sure that inside center is going up and then switching places with them. Boom. And then we're trying to get this cat picture here. Ideally, the grip plan works like this, is that tail is presenting that arm, inside center picks that up, and point comes around and picks up that grip. Here we go, no contact. You can see the start point, there's the long axis, center of the formation, and it's a full 90 degrees. Even though outside center is going 45 to start, there is more, another 45, and that puts the outside center ready for the subsequent point, where they're always going that way unless it's a 4 coming up next. Okay, block 18. There's a number of different ways to do this block. It's all about the build. Right now, you can see how we're kind of holding off the grips a little bit. You see this? Everyone's no contact. And let's put that cursor in the center. And what we want here is a no look, no contact compress from the outside center and the inside center. What I mean by no look is if the centers are looking back too much on the build of this, their hips tend to be away from the center. So you guys want to have, like, I actually prefer to see the centers a little more forward of each other, just a fraction, so that there's not so much of a reach in these grips. Because this block is done well if everyone can maintain just a single arm grip with 90-degree arms. See where the head of tail and point are. It's important, it's critical that your heads are on this side of the centers. See, tail is on this side of inside center because your first move is forwards. See that? Your first move is down the line. Your first move is going this way. The centers open up 45 degrees, look at each other, and your centers, you don't need to get any further away than this from each other. You can rotate a little bit more with your piece partner. The outsides, you saw they go forwards first, and then the hip flick happens as they go through the center. There's a good first target there. Well, actually, let me run through the targets again. That's the first target right there. Two ways, side by side. Second target is there, and it should be like 1, 2, 3 bodies lengths. And then the point and tail, as you come through, you want to go to this angle. You want to go forwards to here and then behind where your piece partner's legs were. So it's not a straight through, it's not a 180. You want to rotate a little more than that. So you want to go through, hip flick, and come around another 45 degrees for it to finish eventually on 270. So just there was that picture, sorry, just go through the pictures again. There was that picture, that picture, that picture, really nice third picture. And then the two centers, be patient, don't go at each other. All you're trying to do is stop just past the middle. Quite often at this point, inside and outside centers, see how far away each other are and go charging over to try and clear. There's no reason. Just go through the center and stop pretty much in the center. There we go, nice. Oh, and yeah, no contact. Stay level with your piece partner as well. Minimal altitude is necessary to do this block. Again, keep this block between 50 centimeters and a meter off the net. No higher, otherwise you're going to get way too much vertical and you're going to force the front pair to go up too high. And you want to have tail and inside center stay level with each other. Outside center and point stay level with each other the whole way through the move. And then here, point, don't be in a rush to come down and get that grip. Stay level. See how Katie's doing a really nice job of staying level with Steve. And then come down together. Perfect. Okay, block 19. Cool. Let's go to the slow-mo. All right, the build here. A couple little things about the build. We really want to make sure that outside and inside have a comfortable two-way side body in the center. We want to have tail on this side of inside center. Don't be too far out here, otherwise it's going to be impossible to make your move. And the same thing with point as the 18. Point wants to have their head on this side of their piece partner. Okay. All right. Very similar to the 18 for the front pair. The outside center is just going to open up the hips 45 degrees as the point initiates straight forwards, but the point is going to end up over here. So you come in through here and then ending up here. Don't aim too much at the tail. It doesn't need to be that much of a deep vertical. Inside center is just fading out. See that? Just fading out. And in fact, there's a really nice target here for inside and outside center, like a two-way, half of a four-way there, looking at each other on the line. Tail is looking this way and just thinking about rotating. The tail's job is rotate, rotate, rotate. Inside center, keep looking and working with the tail to keep the energy of this piece tight. Now the front pair can go down a few centimeters. It's very easy for the back pair to go up. The dynamic of this piece just lends it to a very simple vertical. As outside center, what you've done is you've opened up, you've waited, and you're looking. See how Steve is just hanging out, looking there, and trying to create this side-by-side picture with inside center. And now we know the block's done. We know that this is exactly the point where those two pieces are going to click in together. There we go. In a 14-foot tunnel, you know, we can end up, this is the normal 19. There is a short 19. I won't be talking about that just yet. But this ends up with a really nice shape. Even in 14 feet, you can see with some big lads in there that you can fit for the finish. Make sure as point you stay in a straight line here. Try not to get caught around here. So as you've gone through, get to this angle. You started off here, come out to this angle so that you can now move to your subsequent move on that side. All right, here we go. No contact. Cool. All right, block 20. All right, let's just have a look. The build, we want to get a really nice two-way side body in the middle of the tunnel. Critical information that is. It's got to be in the middle of the tunnel. Obviously, it's a little bit longer for the outside center because you've got the width of the inside center's body, the length of the outside center, and that wants so the outside center's head wants to be in the middle of the tunnel, right there. The point is the point's key. And it may be a little hard to see the tail, but you should notice if they're not on grips. You know, you'll see hands flapping around or a look of panic on the tail's face, but you should be able to see that they're ready to go. Everyone else, be patient. Point has got to key this. And the reason obviously is so that point can get a little bit of a jump. Point, you're heading to this direction, a little bit out to here and a little up. This piece must turn in the center of the tunnel. If it starts shifting around, you're going to make it really uncomfortable for anyone else. And tail, Simi, you want to be straight behind there. There's no reason to cheat. The piece will come to you. Okay, to get this piece going, inside center initiates at 45 degrees just to create some space. And then the outside center takes control. All right, so we'll leave that there. And then the outside center takes control and inside center is carving around the outside center and just trying to stay with them. Let the outside center do the majority of the work on that block, please. As tail, you've turned in place, you try to get round, you want to see that grip and notice it, not get on it too soon, allow yourself to rotate and then shift to the catch there. As point, you've moved a little bit in this direction to create some space, turning in place, and you're looking for this target here. By this target here, you've got a chance to be dropping down, and please finish on level because outside center can't be reaching for you because they've got inside center can't be reaching for you because they've got outside center on their grips. The key here is outside center because they can feel the tail and see what's going on the point. I think there could be no contact. There we go. Okay, block 21. All right, so let's talk about the build first. Really easy to mess this block up on the build. And we want to have the centers completely parallel with their shoulders in line. You see that? Shoulders completely in line. And then the centers are moving out at 45 degrees here and here. The point and tail, like I'm on tail right now and I'm a little bit too tight on the angle. I prefer Katie, she's a little more open there. So you want to be 90 degrees or a little bit more. You don't want to be too close. And I think it's coming from this build. You can see that I'm just a little bit up. Eventually I get to the right target. Because if you are too acute, too tight here, what can happen is you can make the door too small for the centers to get out. All right, centers, you guys are heading out 45 degrees and getting a rotation as soon as you can. Look at the head switch for the centers. They've already head switched, boom. And when you get to this point here, as a center, no more energy going to the outside, certainly no more rotation. You are being patient, you're kind of hanging out as there's two centers. And once your piece partner has crossed the center line, you see that point there, point is crossing over the tail, then your movement, you can see Steve and John doing an excellent job of this, is pressing sideways to the catch. Point and tail, you're just carrying on the rotation. Let that rotation happen. You see each other now, but just, I'll put the cursor right in the middle there, and let the pieces rotate all the way to the catch. Let's watch that again. So, and just another point here, the point and tail, look at each other, look at each other, look at each other, feed your piece partner out. You want to see that target. You actually want to see that there. Looking through the center so that you can time your cross through the middle. And have a look where point and tail start in the tunnel and see where they finish. You know, it's not a full 360, but it's not as short as a 270. There we go. Okay, block 21, no contact, really timing. This is a block. If the timing is off, it can really mess with the catch. So this is a much better shape. You can see here we're a little more patient now because we're doing it no contact. Got that same really good shape in the center. There's the timing. You can see point and tail looking at each other so they cross over for the catch. And block 22. All right. So block 22. In the tunnel, we want to have outside center in the middle of the tunnel. If they're too far forward, there's nowhere for point or outside center to go, inside center to go. So outside center wants to have their body in the middle of the tunnel. Quite often, you see this grip here, this is a challenge. This is a challenge for point. Get your body around and be ready to make the block move when you pick up that grip. Don't jump on it too soon. There we go. Katie's doing an amazing job of being ready here. And tail, you can be straight or just a little cheated on this side. Ideally, you don't want to be on this side for sure. You can be straight or a little bit on this side. The grip plan here, there's 6 different grip plans. Do what is most comfortable for you, but you want to be able, as tail, you want to allow the outside center out to here. So you don't want to restrict them as they move out. The key comes from point. Point is going to get a little bit of height and move to this quadrant here. Yeah? And then the point is just rotating, hovering up here, watching and being patient. And at this point, point is looking for inside center, trying to set up. Look at that beautiful tight compress that those guys have set up there. Outside center, you're stepping out to here, back at 45. There we go. And then looking in this direction. Tail is allowing the outside center out. There we go. Keep looking this way as tail. Get your hips down and place your knees where your piece partner's head was. There we go. Right through the center. This is a pretty good halfway picture, and only then think about the head switch. At this point, outside center, please give most of the power to the tail. Let the tail rotate you, and all you can do is a little bit of a push back, but keep your spine straight. Don't try and rotate to the catch. We want to keep this piece as straight as possible. 2 different things for inside center to do. John is spinning straight away. You see that? Or the other way is to open up to there and let tail come through. Either way works. It's the same move at the end of the day. Inside center basically wants to rotate in place, not back up. There's a little bit of a back up there from the inside, not really necessary. You see that, how inside is just kind of pushing that way, which makes it a bit of a longer catch for the cat. But still pretty good. And then keep the tail wants to keep the two-way compressed as long as possible. If the tail opens up too soon, the piece does a whole bunch of funky stuff. So keep it tight, keep it centered, rotating all the way through to the catch. And then let's look at a no contact. All right, do that once more. There we go. So nice build. Cool. All right, that's it, guys.